Word stressing in Spanish with FrenchSpanishOnline.com. That's what we are going to see in this lesson. There are 4 word categories in Spanish with 3 different rules. Let's start with the first one. The first category of words ending with a vowel, A, E, I, O, U, Y. The rule is to stress the next to last syllable. Vowel, you stress the next to last syllable. Let's see some example. Tourist. In Spanish, we write it this way, with a final vowel, so we are going to stress the next to last syllable, this one, and we'll say turista, el turista, un turista. Building, the same thing with this word ending with a vowel, we will say edificio, stressing the next to last syllable, edificio, el edificio, un edificio. A shorter word, hand, we have this one, so you understand we are going to stress this syllable and we'll say una mano, la mano. The second category of words ending with the consonants N or S. The rule is actually the same. You stress the next to last syllable. So for words ending with the consonants N or S. Let's see some example. Young. Young is an adjective in English, but can be a noun too in Spanish, young man. Here's the word. The last letter is N, so the rule is to stress the next to last, this one, and we will say joven, el joven, un joven. Less is this word with the final S, same rule, and we will say menos, más o menos, more or less. Let's see now when we have a S for the plural. Buildings, for example. Here we have the same word as before and actually the same stress because the plural does not change the word stressing. Okay, you remember that you had an S, but there is the same syllable that you have to stress, that the singular form. The third category is words ending with a consonant, except of course N and S. So the rule is different this time. You stress the last syllable. Let's see some example. Rice. We write it this way with a Z, which is of course a consonant. So we're going to stress the last syllable and we'll say arroz, el arroz. TV. We've got an R at the end of the word and we'll say el televisor, el televisor. Wall, the same thing, we've got D, so we're going to stress the last syllable and say la pared, una pared. Okay, let's see now the fourth category, which is for the words with a written stress. So in this category actually you need to read first the word to know how to pronounce it. There are some rules, but we are going to see them. So you accentuate this case the stress syllable. As we can say, you need to read the word to know how to pronounce it. Attention, here we've got an N, but actually we don't care about this rule because we've got our written stress on the letter O, so we're going to stress the last syllable here and we'll say atención, atención. There is a rule actually, all the words ending in ción in Spanish have their last syllable stressed. Atención, televisión, revisión, etc., etc. Easy, we write it this way with a written accent on the letter A, so we are going to say fácil, es fácil. Math, mathematic, we've got written accent on the letter A again here, so we will say las matemáticas, las matemáticas. There is a rule here too. All the words ending in ico or ica have the second to last syllable or the antepenultimate syllable stressed, like this one actually. If we count from the end, the last syllable, the next to last syllable and the second to last syllable. So it works for matemáticos, but again for lógicos, for example, logic, etc., etc. All the words ending in ico or the feminine form ica. More example, young people. So you remember that young man or young is joven, because there is an N at the end, so the stress is next to last syllable. So now that we have the plural, we write it this way actually, and we need a written accent on the O, because you remember that I told you that the S for the plural does not change the stress of the word, but here we have now 3 syllables. So if you need to write it, we need the written stress on the letter O, and we will say jóvenes, los jóvenes. Actually the same pronunciation as before, el joven, the same stress. There is a rule for names actually. In English you can say Hector Lopez here, but in Spanish we never stress the last syllable of a name or of a first name. So that's why we have to write the names this way with 2 written accents, and we will say Hector Lopez, Hector Lopez. Okay? So let's summarize now our 3 rules and 4 categories of words. The first one, you stress the next to last syllable. You remember that is for words ending with a vowel, but also words ending with N and S. The second rule was you stress the last syllable for words ending with a consonant except N and S. To remember these 2 letters, N and S, you can say that N and S for no stress at the end. NS, no stress. And finally, you accentuate the stressed syllable. It's our third rule for the 4th category of words, words with a written stress. Most of them you need to learn them to know how to pronounce them. I hope that this lesson will help you to pronounce and to better your Spanish accent. Thank you very much for watching with me this slide. Está terminado ahora. We will see you at FrenchSpanishOnline.com. It's free. Adiós.